Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And we've had another episode of House of Dragon, and I love House of the Dragon. I'm really very surprised I liked it. I really thought Game of Thrones seasons 8 and 7 had just killed it, right? Especially the final. Had absolutely killed it, and I wasn't really interested in that world anymore. Good storytelling, good acting, good characterization can change all that, as it turns out, which is exactly what this has. Now, you know, while I am lavishing praise on this, it's not, you know, I don't think this is in the top echelons of TV. I mean, right now we're 6 episodes in. I don't think it's up there with Breaking Bad or Sopranos or Game of Thrones season 1 to 5, quite frankly. Westworld, you know, there are a lot of Battlestar Galactica reboot. There are a lot of shows which I feel are superior, right, and deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Broadwalk Empire, all those type of shows. So this, I don't think is there. This is probably more expensive, especially this episode. Oh my god, fan-freaking-tastic dragon action in this week's episode. But it's solid, right? It's absolutely solid and growing and getting more interesting all the time. I see this as it's weird. I see this as a shorter run than Game of Thrones, like 2-3 seasons maybe. But you know, as I'm watching this episode, we have this big 10-year time jump. And we get to glimpse characters for like one episode, right? And I'm like, oh man, I could have handled a season or two, you know, Lyanna, whatever her name is, not Targaryen, the other one, Valerian, right? I could handle a season 2 of these characters. These are fantastic characters. I like the Matt Smith marriage, but spoiler alert, we really just get to glimpse it. Paddy Considine, is that his name? Still, is the hook for me for this show. Like, it just, I want to just shout at everybody, just do what he says, okay? He's the king. Just do what he says, and everyone's gonna be happy, right? Everybody's gonna be happy. But sadly, no one listens to him, and I think to everybody's detriment. But I'm invested in all these characters, and I like how these characters are all 3-dimensional, right? You know, they all feel like they're working for the greater good. They all feel like they have morality on their side. In one where they're all the heroes of their own story, which I find very human. So this is just excellent stuff, right? Plus, very cool dragons. I mean, the dragons in this week are just off the chart. I have no idea how much they cost. You know, I think they could probably, this episode could probably feed a few starving countries in the third world. But, you know, the dragons look pretty. So, before we get into review, I'm recording this on Friday, the 30th of September. Please like, share, and subscribe. That'd be very good. Especially subscribe. YouTube just throttles my channel like anything. Will not let me break 3,500, right? And it's the weirdest thing. But like, share, subscribe. That'd be fantastic. Comment. Let me know what you think. Sign up my Substack. My email newsletter. Take part in my paid Substack. Now, what do you get if you're on my paid Substack? Absolutely nothing. I got to send out something today, right? I got to send out something today. I am bereft and embarrassed that I haven't sent out content. But I will do. Right, that's perfect. That's absolutely my intention. Send out content. Like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up my Substack, sign up my pay Substack. All those things. My Substack is an email newsletter. Link is in the video notes. Basically, it's just to let you know when my videos are in the inevitable event that I get banned from YouTube, which I'm amazed hasn't happened yet. Right? I mean, these midterms are coming up. They're getting very political. And I don't know. Maybe everything is some kind of political analogy, right? So I don't know what to tell you. They will ban my channel at some point. But if you're on my newsletter, you'll be able to find me on Rumble. Listen, if Russia starts cyber attacks against the US and they want to take out YouTube, that works out pretty good for me, actually. I have to tell you, because then everybody can go to Rumble, based in Florida, assuming that survived the torrential hurricane that just decimated it. From what I can tell, I used to live in Florida. I'm kind of glad I'm not there now. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack. All those things are very good. Also, very good. Game of Thrones. I like the new cast. I think it all works seamlessly. I really do. I think it's all been fantastic. Let me hand over to me from last night. So reboot week, right? Totally different this week. They 10-year time jump, and I like the time jumps they've been doing in this, right? So you don't get the Westeros Express. I like that a lot. I got to hear Gary's review of it because he knows so much more than me. I also listen to his reviews of Lord of the Rings. It's so nice to understand what all these things. I get a feeling should be Easter eggs, but I have no idea what they are. I kind of wish it had its own theme tune, though. Not really loving the titles. It seems to me that Paddy Cosendine is going to be dead by the end of the season. Right, he doesn't look like it. I think if he makes another episode, I'm going to be bloody impressed, quite frankly, because he's falling apart. But he is one. I just like that character, right? The king. Just everybody listen to the fucking king and do what he says and do what he wants, and everyone's going to be happier. But it is a little bit tricky, right? As we find out in this week's episode, it's a bit tricky. So, what's his name? Rhaenyra has been recast, right? Recast as whoever this. Actually, you know what? Let me pull up the Wikipedia. And then I'll have a fighting chance of knowing which person's name they are and what family they're from. I know there's family connections and stuff, but I'm not like that au fait with it. Hang on a second. House of the Dragon. The Dragon. What's the Wikipedia? Doink. Fine. So they got the giving fine. So I know who everybody's name is. One second. I'm going to open this twice so I can go and see which character is which. Doink. Okay. So we're opening up, and Rhaenyra is giving birth to her third child. Good scene, right? There's a two person in this, and there's a nice juxtaposition between the two of them, right? It's a good scene. It's and there's a good introduction to the character and the dynamics between the characters as well. So it's a reasonably realistic, intimate birth scene, and she's spitting out a sprog. And it's really quite sweet, right? And then she gets a message like straight away. Said the queen wants to see the baby. She's like, what? I've just had him. He's like, fine, I'm gonna bring him, right? So clearly the queen is in control, and she is under her thumb. She is clearly shit scared after last week when her father told her, listen, it's either you or this princess, right? Either because one. If your kids don't take it, if David Tennant's son essentially doesn't become the king, there's going to be war, and that means if she wins, she's got to kill your kids. So she's shit scared of them, right? So they haven't cut his umbilical cord off yet, and they get a dress, and she walks out. So this is her gay husband, right? Who's super gay. This is what's his name? I'll tell you. It's Valerian, right? What's the name? Valerian. Which one? This is our husband who is bent as a dog's back leg, and they were supposed to shag each other once or twice, right? She could get pregnant. I don't think it happened, right? I do not think he was able to go through with it. So that's actually becomes a bit of a problem. But they got quite this nice relationship. They seem friendly to each other, friends, right? And they do like each other, which I like because it does show you the even if you're not sexually intimate, there is an intimate bond that's built up through marriage, right? Which is and he's supportive of her. Right, so he's taking her to see the queen, and she's not expecting her to go. She's expecting her son to bring her. And so this is who shagged Rhaenyra in the previous episode, had a meltdown, was going to kill himself, ended up working for the queen. Apparently, can't fucking stand Rhaenyra, right? Can't fucking stand her. And then she goes in, and so we meet the new queen. And she's like, what are you doing here? I expect to see the kid, right? And she's like, I didn't mean you to come. So, and she's like, I'm not going to let you bring the kid without me. And the king walks in, and he's missing a freaking arm this week. Like, he is falling apart. I love the king, right? The king. Hey, here's the thing. Everybody just listen to him, right? He just wants everybody to get on and be happy with each other, right? And he says he's got his father's nose, which you laugh at because as you find out, her other kids are clearly have nothing to do with this bloke, right? They're very white with black hair, like the king, like a chief guard, which you'll find out pretty soon. It's again, she's looked after. I like the king. I just wish they would listen to him, right? I wish they'd listen to him. So that's it. She goes to meet her guard, who's clearly the father of the kid, right? And he goes in and has he meets an egg that he's going to be raised with, which is part of the Targaryen tradition. And he knows he's the father. Look, he's white and he's got black hair. So what's this guy's name? Hang on. This is what's his bloody name? I'm going through the Wikipedia trying to find him. What's it? Not the Grand Maester, no. What is the hand? This is trying to remember his name is a freaking nightmare, right? An absolute freaking nightmare. Not Reese Evans. No, not her. Not Kristen Cole. Okay, so he's his chief of guard, and they can't stand them on a moral level. This is they're clearly sowing the seeds of the rebellion, which is going to the Civil War, which I think is going to take up most of next season, my guess, if it doesn't haven't already. Where is this thing? I'm like whizzing through everyone. So her husband is Leonard Valerian. Going through it. No, not him. No. I thought the Wikipedia will say the name of the guy. Whatever. So, yeah, 1 second. You know what? If I look up her Wikipedia on the Westeros thing, a wiki of fire and ice, that here. So I should be able to find the name of the person who we were supposed to, who they said might well be the father. So she's at Dragonstone. No, before she's at Dragonstone, marries a hand. Oh, man. King no. No, not him. I kind of no. What the hell? Oh, is it Blackwood? That could be no. Okay, there are 3 sons, all in their adult. Okay, but did they say who the father was? No. No, not Nineveh. I can't find their bloody names here. Oh, 1 second. Okay, here what we'll do. We'll go to IMDb. That should at least find the actor, and I'll have who he's playing. House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon. What's his bloody name? Well, if anybody lets don't feel shy to let me know. Let me know in the chat. House of the Dragon. Fine. TV series. Episode 6. So here we go. Should we get top cast? He should be in the top cast. Where is he? Larry Strong. I believe that's his brother. Okay, fine. Harwin Strong. Okay, these are the Strongs. Fine. He's Harwin Strong. Oh, thank God for that. That was a nightmare, right? So, okay. This is weird and messed up, what goes on with this guy. He's clearly the father. He's the guy, like the chief of guards, right? Meanwhile, in the dragon pit, blimey. Although, yeah, I did have to find out their names for what happens in this episode. Anyway, so they're in the dragon pit. They're basically, the kids are bonding, being bonded to the dragons, as the dragons are growing. So this guy, I guess, is the will be the king. This is Rhaenyra's oldest son. Clearly, what's his name again? Strongbones. Breakbones, right? So clearly Sir Harwin Breakbones' strong son, right? Very, very black hair, but he's in line to be the king because he's Rhaenyra's son, right? Which is going to be a point of some contention. They're trading it. Oh, there we go. We see David Tennant's son. Pretty darn good in this, actually. I have to tell you. Either he's a prick or he's good at playing a prick. He's not as bad as Joffrey. Right, but he's his own kind of nice, lecherous, somewhat like shallow character, and that's his brother. He's mad, so his egg apparently didn't hatch, which happens every now and then. So see, he doesn't have a dragon. He's pissed off as shit. So he says Dracarys, and he fries a goat, right, and then eats it. Said, look, we got a present for you. We found you a dragon. And they've dressed the pig up as a dragon. And he's like all pissed off. And so he sneaks off down into the dragon pit to see them, and he's nearly fried alive, right? Meanwhile, Queen Alicent is hanging out with her daughter. Again, I like these little character moments and how they make people who will be villains, who are villains. Some people are villains to each other, right? They make them into three-dimensional characters. This is... look, not as good as Westworld. Don't get me wrong. I love Westworld. This is good, solid, entertaining TV, right? This is definitely a cut above, your Smallvilles or whatever. This is like, classy pucker stuff. It's not in the top echelons, but it's I mean, like, yeah, it's not like with Sopranos or Breaking Bad or Broadwalk Empire or anything like that, right? But it's solidly good entertainment. I'll say it's better than Outlander, for example. So this, again, worth your time, really, totally worth your time. So she talks to her son, say, well, what are you doing? Don't do that, blah, blah, blah. We'll get you an egg or something. So she goes to talk to her husband about Rhaenyra's kids, who are clearly bastards, right? They're clearly bastards and in line to be the throne, right? Clearly, and he's like, no, we're not going to say that. Everybody's happy, right? I'm not going to hear this, because it's very important to him that she takes on the crown, because that makes his first wife's death somewhat bearable to him, right? Which is unbearable. But also, he likes family unity. He likes peace. And if they accept him as king, as everybody accepts him as king, the black-haired king is king, clearly he'll be everybody. There will be peace in the world, right? But she's like, look, it's immoral, but really, the heart is the captain of the ship. She's driven by her terror, right? She's driven by her absolute terror of being murdered and having her children murdered, right? So she only sees the worst in her, right? And he's like, we got to talk about this. She's clearly, they're clearly bastards. They're like, no, they're not, and we're not going to acknowledge it. And he says no, right? And so she's very close with Kristen Cole now, who, again, was looking for redemption in this last episode. He was looking for, if he got as low as a human being could be, he was going to commit suicide, and she gave him new purpose. And I think they're morality, while it has they have a good point. The kids are bastards. It's being driven by their, well, for him, it's being driven by his self-loathing for that he slept with Rhaenyra, and for her, it's being driven by a terror that she needs to protect her family, right? So again, I like they have layered motivations. Meanwhile, David Tennant's son is rubbing one out outside his window, as only royalty can do. And his mother walks in. What a nightmare! What an absolute nightmare! She says, "Listen, we need to talk. You need to be ready to be king." He's like, but I'm not king. What's his name be king? I'll just tell him I won't fight. Don't you understand? Your existence, your very existence threatens the crown. She's like, oh shit, this is not good. Meanwhile, fucking awesome dragon action. Oh my god, Matt Smith is awesome beyond awesome, flying his dragon, and he's got a wife now, Lena of Valerian. Great character we know for like 20 seconds. It's a tragedy, absolute tragedy. We only meet her, and she's great, right? She's like I like that she's feminine and fierce, right? Which so many times when they want to do like a strong woman character, they always do him like a man with tits. No, this is actually a female character, right? With feminine drives, and she's fucking awesome. So, and she's really tamed Matt Smith's character as well, right? He's happy being married to her, right? And they both fly together, and they it's pretty good for them. So they're living in Pentos, right? Living the higher life, right? And they get offered to just stay there and become regent, right? So look, we'll give you. You'll be the regent here. We'll give you a crown. We'll give you a palace. We'll give you money. Like, we have plenty of money here. You can live well. And she's like, well, we will of course discuss this. But she's like a hard no. She wants to go home, right? He's like, well, we need to talk about this, right? And he's like, we got to do this. This is going to be awesome, right? This is fantastic. We need to do this. And she's like, I'm not so up for it. But he's basically in charge, right? So he's like, I think this is what we're going to do. So she's like, I guess we'll circle back. Have you noticed how much more plot there is in this than Andor? Right? I am a third the way through this. Right? I've covered maybe 4 episodes of Andor, 7 episodes, like a season. Like, because this has a fucking story, getting characters. Oh, like, again, I say this every fucking week. I say it every week. But why can Dan and Dave step down after season 5 and hand it over to these guys, right? Then you would have 5 years of because he should have got to season 10. You finally understand when George R. R. Martin said, "Oh, I think it should be a 10-season thing." He was right. Right, and a 10-season arc, it would have worked, and then we would have been on this now, right? Oh man. It's just like doing this back to back with Andor. It's like, it's shocking, right? It's freaking shocking. So anyway, so they talk about, but I like their relationship as well. He clearly loves her, right? He clearly loves her and cherishes her, which I like a lot, right? It's like, it's a very sweet relationship. So this is the major scene of the episode, right? This is where everything turns. The kids are training together, right? You got Rhaenyra's kids and Alicent's kids. They're training together, and the king loves this. They say, yeah, they fight together, they get together, they're going to have this close bond, which they did have, right? It didn't even occur to David Tennant's son's character to say, "Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna let him be the king." It's his mate. They got on with each other, right? It's perfect. And this was the plan. He's the only one who wants to make fucking peace in the world. You all just listen to him. Everything fine. And it's basically his fault that if those kids are bastards, which they clearly are, it's his fault because he forced a bloody marriage to a gay kid, right? And they couldn't have kids. Anyway. basically talk about the plan. So David Tennant's son sees a couple of ladies will go by. And, hey, naughty. He's a rather lustful chap. I do like that, right? Kristen Cole has a buck up his ass again, driven by self-hatred, self-loathing for sleeping with Rhaenyra, and so he hates the morality that he's thanked to, and he sees her as just like Satan, like just somebody who will suck anybody down, right? So he's trading the kids. Say, here, you just try and try and touch me. So then Harwood Strong says, you should give the other kids a bit of training as well. Says, don't get in my fucking face. I'm in charge. I said, no, you should just let everybody have a go, right? So I said, okay then, and he grabs the kid and said, fine, and he's like, ooh, this doesn't look good. And he wants David Tennant's son to fight him, who's like a good head taller, right? So he goes charging at him, and it's not a fair fight at all, right? And it's his son, so basically his son's getting his ass kicked. But then he starts to fight back, right? He turns around, he does quite well against David Tennant's son, right? Ty Tennant, right? And he's like, that's me boy, which is the point, right? I think so. Was this planned or did this just devolve, right? It could have gone either way. Anyway, I don't think it was planned. So he's like, okay, so tries to give him some tips. And they go, but the kid's much taller. And he's like, use your foot, kick him down. It's like, cheat, basically. So he's about to clobber him and he grabs him. And he's like, how dare you? And he's like, hey, God, you don't talk to us, talk to somebody like that. And it says, this is what you do. You teach cruelty to attack a weaker opponent. Says, well, this is weird. You say you're acting more like a father than a guardsman. And so he's starts beating the shit out of him. And essentially proving he is the father, right? This fucks him over totally. So what? Okay, so that's the hand. It's his son. Was it Harwood Strong? That's his son. So he's like, oh fuck, this is not good. So the white coats pull him off, and he's like, yeah, you're fucked, mate. Which he essentially is, right? So she hears, she goes to listen to it, and his father's talking to his son saying, listen, the only reason that you're still alive, that you haven't been sent to be executed along with Rhaenyra and the boys, is because the Viserys wants to pretend that you're not the father. He's like, I'm not the father. It's like everybody has eyes. Don't be ridiculous. It's so bloody obvious he's the father, right? That's the only reason he's surviving, is because of this fantasy. That if we all would just subscribe to, again, I keep saying, if we just listen to Viserys, life would be better for fucking everyone. If they all just subscribe to the same fantasy, right? It would all work, right? I said, you got your honor, I got mine, right? So he knows, oh, this doesn't look good. So she realized she got to fix this, right? So in walks her husband with his gay lover, drunk out his life. Like, yay! Now I'm going to go and fight. There's a battle I can go. I can take my ship and we can go and take on the people. There's somebody who's taken over the stepstones again. We'll go and drive them out. I said, you can't go fucking anywhere. Well, lives are in danger. It's getting worse by the day, right? Meanwhile, there's an egg they want for the fire for what's the name? Rhaenyra's, what's it? No, it's Lana, isn't it? It's Lyanna, right? Lyanna Valerian, right? So, yeah, Lyanna Valerian. Married to Matt Smith, about to drop a spog. Over here. Right. Again, lovely scene with the daughter. You get such a nice family vibe out of this, right? And I kind of like this family, right? I like what they've evolved into, right? Matt Smith again. He was with his daughter, and then he says, "Listen, I think you want to see your brother again, and I want to see my brother again." He's like, "I don't know." Okay, next day, Life here in Pentos, pretty darn sweet, darling. Great weather, and they love us, and we're rich, right? It's pretty darn sweet. Okay, next day in the small council, they're talking about stepstones and stuff like that. Bill Patterson's hearing is going. He said, "Yeah, I want to." They fight over something. They said, "Look, I would like to address the council." So listen, there's bad blood. Clearly, she wants to save her life. She wants to get everything, and get everything on a more even footing, right? And basically make peace, right? So she doesn't like the fighting that's going on, and so she proposes that her daughter, Allison's daughter, who clearly is legitimate with very white hair, marry the future king, who's clearly the bastard, right? And that way we join our houses, and it's one bloodline again, making everything much stronger. And she's like, "Fuck, that really fucks me over." And also in joy of this happy event, we will gift a dragon egg from the next litter for your son who doesn't have a dragon, right? And so he's overjoyed. This is perfect. Everybody gets on. Everybody is legitimate. It's the most legitimate throne possible because you join both houses, right? No worries. Everybody's happy. And she starts to leak. And she's like, "Okay, I gotta go." And Allison not happy at all. So, I don't want to marry my only daughter, that bastard, And basically, she doesn't want to be at a week. She's got caught on this path, and it's again. Everybody listen to Viserys, right? That's what you need to do. Everybody listen to Viserys. So they go, and she's more of a nurse to him now, which I quite like, right? So the king, what's his name, Strong, comes to see him and said, "Listen, I got to resign. Like, obviously, my son has shamed me that I can't keep this." He's like, "What are you talking about? The parentage is he's clearly the father." And he's like, and Viserys is like, "No, I will not hear of it. I do not allow you to resign. You've given us good counsel for years. No, you are staying, mate." He's like, "Well, at least can I let me send Sir Harwin Strong, Breakbone Strong." Again, these great characters that we really don't get enough time with. I'm freaking loving these guys, right? Breakbone Strong. He's going to go and take over running at Harrenhal. Now, Harrenhal was this huge castle that was just melted by dragons. It's a monument of the power to dragons, right? And she's all pissed off, right? She's like, "I can't marry my daughter, that bastard." So so she goes to have this mysterious dinner with Larys Strong. Larys Strong is a evil, manipulative spy master, Littlefinger type character. Excellent character, really dodgy. Wouldn't trust him in any way. But again, he's a spy master, right? She's like saying, "I wish that my father was hand again," right? You say, "Well, he'll hardly be impartial, but he'll be partial to me," right? He says, and I don't want to have a bastard marry my daughter. And he's like, maybe I can take care of this, right? So here's how he takes care of this. He goes to one of the black cells, right? He says, "Look, you're all murderers, rapists, you're all scheduled to die at death row. You could, if you give up something, you could all live and come in my service." And so what he's doing, he's developing this terrifying brute squad, right? To become a member of, you have to have your tongue cut out, right? So they will never talk. So okay, next one. Meanwhile, oh man, again, Lyanna Valera, I'm so sorry that this is her last scene, essentially. But again, this time jump really, really works. Man, I could do a whole season with all of these characters. It could go much slower for me. But anyway, because these characters are fantastic. She's giving birth, right? And it's not going well. And he's like, I can't do anything. I've reached the limit of my knowledge. He's like, well, there's a thing we could do that might save the child and the mother. He says no, she wouldn't saw it. So this is reflecting the first episode when Viserys killed his wife essentially. Very sad. So he makes the other G says no, then don't do it, right? Again, the juxtaposition is really, really strong. It really, really genuinely works. But she ends up staggering out to a dragon. Oh man, this is heart-wrenching, man. It's heart-wrenching. And she goes to a dragon who's old as Dracarys, and the dragon does it, right? He doesn't want to do it, but the dragon does it. Boom, boom, and burns her up. And he's distraught, right? And like again, if you can write freaking characters, you can write characters. Russell T Davies can do this. We've seen like 2 or 3 minutes with all these characters. We know what their relationship is, right? He sketched them out, right? And sketched them out beautifully, and you knew exactly what it is very, very easily. Because these are like real people. They're not like ciphers. They're not. So this is why I wouldn't call this show woke, even though I think the birthing scene in the first episode was woke, right? I do think it was woke. So he's being sent off away from her, away from his kids, and he's like, well, I will write, and his son's worked it out. And he said, is Harwin Strong my father? Am I a bastard? And she's like, you are the heir to the throne, right? So she goes out and sees her husband. And he said earlier in this thing, a wise sailor knows when to avoid a storm rather than sailing into a storm. And he says, so listen, we can't stay here. It's not safe for us. We're going to move to Dragonstone, right? We're going to head on out to a Dragonstone. And he's like, you can bring your gay lover with you. Yeah, we're going to need all the swords we can get. So the Strongs head over to, Harrenhal. Watched by his men have this logo. Is that a bee? I don't know what it is, but it's damn cool, right? So these are. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to zoom in. These are scary people, right? Later that night, there's a fire, and he's like, "I'm gonna burn! He's locked in the room, and he's trying to get them out. And by the morning, they're both dead, right? They arrive at Dragonstone, and there's a good soliloquy about children being a burden, right? And so basically, the Hand of the King's dead, and as Harwin Strong is dead. This daughter cries over a mother, and again, this family. This family works. It feels real to me, right? It feels very real. And so it ends up with him telling Alicent that the Strongs are dead. You should write to your father now to come and visit. He's like, I didn't want you to do this. He's like, yes, you did, darling. Yes, you did, and you did. So again, we're moving slowly towards a Targaryen civil war. Where it is like really, really sad because it feels like the world today, right? It feels like we're on an inevitable march, right? It's felt that for over a year or two for me, right? It feels like we're on an inevitable march. Same with this. It feels like we're on an inevitable march. I'm excited to stay with them. I can't believe that again. More story happened in this than 5 seasons of Andor. Oh my God. Great. It's great stuff, right? I mean, like, especially in the TV landscape we have today, seeing competence on screen is something rare and beautiful. Rare and beautiful. That is how I would describe myself. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.